Thank you. Great to be here, and thank you for the invitation to join this event and speak for you here and also in the online. All the people, thanks to joining. So my background is that I'm working for StoraEnso Oy in our wood product division and leading our product sustainability. And I would like to also announce that we just came an official friend of the new European Bauhaus. I think it was last month, and we are kind of strongly supporting then all the values, sustainability, aesthetics, and inclusion in the building sector. And maybe just shortly about the StoraEnso. Oh, sorry, down. Right. All right, some technical challenges. Let's try again. Okay, now it's working. Thank you. So kind of let's say that the StoraEnso is already a main actor in the bioeconomy, and we have kind of a goal for 2050 to be 100% regenerative, that we are providing only regenerative solutions. And we have kind of identified three main areas. It's then the circularity. We should have 100% circular solutions, and we should be also then net positive in climate impacts, in carbon, and in biodiversity. So these are then the areas where we are focusing, and also this is a kind of a journey for us, and we are not going to do this alone. So all of our stakeholders from the downstream and upstream have to also join to this journey with us to make this really happen. And what we are kind of doing, we are providing renewable material solutions. We have kind of a building materials, we have packaging materials, we have paper, biomaterials, and we are also one of the world's biggest forest owners, private forest owners, and all is starting from the sustainable forest management. And when then the tree come to our processes, we are utilizing then all part of the trees. So the most valuable part of the trees, the larger logs, we are using for wood products, and then the residues from the timber industry and the small diameter logs are then going to the pulping, for packaging products, for new innovation, papers, paper products, and of course here is then aim also to circulate the fibers back to our processes, and here the innovation is kind of making the key role that we can innovate new kind of products and solutions for our customers. And when we come then to the kind of a built environment, building sector, so there are these mega trends, but we all know that they are transforming our kind of a business and kind of a living landscape. They are kind of a population growth, economic growth, global warming, but then we also have heard during this kind of a Bioeconomy Conference that we have the planetary boundaries, and we are already now kind of expanding or kind of exceeding those boundaries. So there is a huge challenge also in the construction sector. When we are only looking at the construction sector, 40% of the global materials are consumed by the construction sector. 25–30% of the European waste is coming from the construction sector. Buildings are causing almost 40% of the global energy-related carbon greenhouse gas emissions. 29% is coming from the operational emissions, buildings use, and 10% is coming then from the embodied material related emissions. And it's also kind of expected that the building area will be doubled by 2060. So meaning that we have to build more, we have to use more raw materials where we have already now some scarcity and challenges. And on the other hand, we have the climate change and climate targets. So it's meaning that we have to have kind of a net zero buildings by 2050. Meaning that all the operational emissions should be net zero, and also the embodied material related emissions should be net zero. So would see that there is a huge challenge, the whole kind of built environment. And of course we have one solution, which is then wood, which is an existing solution. But I think that's not enough. That's also what Olivier mentioned, that it should be kind of a holistic sustainability what we should be looking. But wood we can already utilize now for low carbon buildings. It's kind of a lower greenhouse gas emissions compared to many other building materials. It's storing carbon over its life cycle. It's also kind of a lightweight construction material. It can be prefabricated and it can be fast installed in a construction site. And it's suitable for many different kind of applications for residential buildings or offices or public buildings. And also we have kind of these, someone already mentioned that, okay, we have different type of massive wood products like cross-laminated timber or laminated vinyl lumber and glue laminated timber. So part of those are already existing several decades. Some are newer solutions. So they are also kind of innovative products for the builders to use in the buildings. And we are also supporting then the kind of the designers, when it's architect or engineer or investor or kind of a developer to build with wood. So we have developed building concepts. So we have concepts for different type of buildings, like a residential one, offices and educational and industrial buildings. So kind of giving some kind of guidelines that how to do the first project with wood, kind of simplify the process and give kind of guidances. And we are kind of seeing that, okay, this is a big potential and there will be growth. And I'm also would like to kind of announce that today we had an opening ceremony of our fourth CLT mill in Czech Republic. So we are seeing that this is a kind of a growing area. And maybe just some examples. So we can have very large project from wood. We can have tall project from wood. We can do kind of a refurbishment. We can do extensions. We can do top ups from wood. So we can have all kind of application based on wooden solutions. So here just a couple of examples that at the moment in Paris, there is a construction work ongoing for the Arboretum. So that's kind of the largest kind of wooden construction site in Europe, totally 125 square meters of office spaces. Then you can see the world tallest wooden building located in Norway. Stornet, I don't know, did I pronounce correctly, but a Norwegian name, and it's kind of a 85-meter high and 18 stories. So we can even have kind of a very tall buildings from wood. And it was already mentioned today that we can also use wood for kind of a refurbishment and kind of extensions and here is one example from UK, from London, the greenhouse, which was then kind of an old office block from the 60s, which was then refurbished and then extended with the CLT structures. And especially when we have very tight cities, not so much space, so then the lightweight structures with wood are very kind of a good solution for that, and also kind of a fast construction times. And maybe some other kind of innovations what we can have with wood to drive the bioeconomy. So we are now also investigating kind of tall structures, different kind of towers for wind turbines or telecommunication structures. So these are kind of a new type of solution where we can then replace, let's say, more heavier steel structure than more lighter wooden structures. We have also new innovations from lignin-based solutions. So the lignin is one part of the wood. We have the cellulose, hemicellulose, and the lignin. And typically the lignin have been burned, incinerated for energy purposes, but now we can also use that as a raw material to then replace fossil-based chemicals. So we have kind of a couple of solutions then to use lignin as a binding agent for the particle board or insulation panels. And also we can kind of replace phenol with lignin, or we can even replace bitumen in asphalt with lignin. So there is a lot of new kind of solutions. And maybe just to concluding that, okay, how to scale up the bioeconomy in the building sector. We already have many good things where wood can be kind of a circular and sustainable and can drive that in the building sector. But also I think that we need kind of a strong policies, and we have to be also kind of brave to do decision now. And if we want to kind of target the net zero, or if we want to achieve the net zero target by 2050, so we have to focus on carbon and the whole life carbon kind of policies and regulations should be also strong in the EU level. There are countries like France and Nordics which are already advanced in the carbon regulation in their building regulations, but that should be also in a European level kind of a strong goal. And also the regulation and policy should support kind of a circular material system, that we can have kind of loops where our materials and resources can circulate, and that's challenging at the moment. So then hoping also that the coming regulation can also emphasize more this kind of a circular way of thinking and innovation of the products. And would like to then conclude that everything that's made from fossil-based or non-renewable-based materials today can be made from a tree tomorrow. And would like that everybody is joining to this our journey.